And live streaming has started. And yeah. No. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Social commerce. Toastmasters, you can start. Yeah.
Hello everyone. This is Mufaddal Murtaza, Sergeant at Arms at Karachi Toastmasters Club. A very good evening to all of you. Today is our 1033rd meeting at Karachi Toastmasters Club. Hope we have a very wonderful meeting today. We have numbers of people lined up along with their evaluators. So we'll be having a long meeting. Please hold your seats tight. In order to have a very smooth meeting, I would like to give some rules in order to have that we don't distract the speakers. Those who are present over here, please try to keep your cell phones on silent so that it does not distract the speakers. Those who are participating online, please keep your mic on mute unless it's required to speak. Those who are present over here in the room, please try to avoid roaming here and there in the room. If you have something important to talk about, or if you have something important, some important call, please go outside and attend the call. At Toastmasters platform, we don't talk on 3 topics, that is politics, sex, and religion. So please try to avoid talking on these topics. Now, I would like to hand over the stage to Madam President. Is she present?
Yes, she's on.
Okay, so over to you, Madam President.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good morning from whichever part of the world you are in. Toastmasters is a public speaking platform where people from all walks of life come together to improve their communication skills as well as public speaking skills. It was founded back in 1924 by Rajsi Smedley in Englewood, Colorado. And it has more than 350,000 members worldwide in more than 200 clubs, 200 to 250 clubs and worldwide. And do we have DTM Kalla? Do we have any announcements to make?
Yes, let's conduct the business portion. If you allow.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much, Madam President. There are a couple of things to cover. The first one is the recap of last 2 meetings. Last meeting took place on
Is
this a deal with a difficult audience project? I don't know. Okay.
He was selling the project to me.
Okay, great. Okay, so our last meeting took place exactly 1 week ago, and these were the winners. The best speaker was by DTM Surprise, best Big 4 by Toastmaster Imran Rana, best evaluator Toastmaster Anna, best facilitator Toastmaster Musa, the listener, and best table topics, as always, Toastmaster Mariam Aftab. And Critics' Choice Awards were won in this order. 3rd place went to DTM Rabana, 2nd place went to myself, and 1st place went to DTM Surprise. Then we had another meeting on Saturday, which was the academy session, and it was. Oh, just give me a second. Yeah, it had a keynote by DTM Surprise, who actually told us all about the secrets of winning an international speech contest on an international stage. He was a keynote speaker. We had a speech by Toastmaster Vase. So, by virtue of being the only speakers and evaluators, and also by qualifying, because they spoke within time, they respectively won Best Speaker and Best Evaluator. So, in terms of other announcements, first of all, we have our next meeting exactly 1 week later. But on January 1, 2023, we will have our international speech contest, and everyone is well advised to start preparing, because that contest requires preparation. Start preparing your speeches now and make sure to enroll. The only eligibility requirement for international speech contest is that you need to have completed 2 levels of pathways. So, and even if you are a new member, like our Toastmasters Nurulan, and you will not be completing 2 levels by then, it will be good to participate because it will be a great learning experience. So with that, I hand over the charge back to you, Toastmaster Hibaris.
Okay, the now I'll be the Toastmaster of the day. So he's a very eloquent speaker and a very promising star of the KTC, promising star speaker of KTC with the vivid imagination in his speeches. Is TM Elvin Faraz here? No, he is.
Yes, he is there, but I think we should first invite our guests for introduction.
Oh yes, I forgot. I'm so sorry.
No first, I think.
What about first?
Yeah.
We can go for the physical guests who are present at Beat Luxury.
All right, fine. You asked for it. So all our guests were here for the first time. Please come to the stage one by one and introduce yourselves. Starting with you. Just your name, what do you do, and how are you here today?
My name is Kesar Soman. I work for a company which is called Mondelez International that makes the best chocolate in the world. And I work in research and development there, working as a packaging development manager for almost like 5 years now. And my objective to join the Toastmasters Club here is to improve my public speaking skills because I am still stage shy. So I want to improve my public speaking skills. So one of my friends is member of this club. I've been attending few meetings here and there, but was not a proper member of any club. So one of my friend is a member. His name is Azhar.
Azhar Khan.
Yeah.
Right.
So he referred to me, and that's why I'm here today. So it was nice meeting you all.
Most welcome. Very nice to have you. Please come on to stage first, introduce yourself. Meanwhile, the chairs are coming.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Hamir Ahuja. I am an ACC trainee at Power Cement Limited, and I wanted to work on my communication skills. So my manager referred me this session, so I'm here to attend it.
Okay. Other colleagues from Power Cement, if you can come forward and introduce yourself. Anyway, it's a rule. All guests have to introduce themselves. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Abdullah Yusuf. I'm an electrical engineer by profession. Currently working as a deputy manager in K Electric. I'm really passionate about solving problems. But at the same time, I wanted to work on my communication skills. To push my boundaries, to push myself out of the comfort zone. I can improve my skills, communication skills. Thank you.
Myself, Mohammad Mehdi. I am an engineer by profession. I am from Power Cement Limited, working as an assistant manager in strategy and business development. I am here because I also work on my communication skills and I feel shy when I'm coming on public speaking. That's why I'm here.
Would you like to come? Yeah, come one by one. No worries.
Hello everyone, my name is Mustafa and I'm a communication and outreach officer at Global Neighborhood for Media Innovation. I'm here to improve my communication skills because right now I think I'm good at communication, but I want to be an expert because it is my profession. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Nilesh Sagar. I am working as Assistant Manager Finance in Power Cement Limited. I am ACCA qualified. I am here to improve my communication skills and to reduce my shyness when working with others.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Junaidul Rahman and I am basically electrical engineer. Hired at Power Cement trainee 3 years back and now working as a strategy in business, working in a strategy in business development assistant manager. So I am here to explore what is going to be presented here and hopefully I am motivated to go with good takeaways from here. So my HR team recommended me to come here.
Sure, most welcome. Who is left? Has everyone introduced themselves?
No.
Yeah, you are.
Hi guys, first of all, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shahrukh Qayyum and I am currently working as an assistant manager in Power Cement Limited. So basically, senior profile basically guided me towards the Karachi Toastmasters to improve our communication and other skills as well. So we are basically here to attend the session and hopefully we'll get a good response by attending this session. Thank you so much.
I believe in-person guests are done. Now,
What about online?
yeah.
Online guests?
Yes, online, yes. Mr.
Yes,
Kumar.
so please introduce yourself, Mr. Kumar.
My name is T.M. Kumar. I am from the Toastmasters Club, Kulwang, Jo, District 102. I've
Most
been in
welcome.
Toastmasters since '89. Back to you.
I think you've been regularly attending our
Yes.
sessions since
Yes.
the past few weeks.
Yes,
You're from Malaysia, right?
yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, there's this guest, Amit. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. I'm not sure I qualify as a guest because I've been attending quite regularly. And I'm sorry, I'm a bit under the weather today, so I'm not switching on the camera and I will not really be able to participate, but I'll love to listen to you all. Thank you.
Great, sir. Thank you so much for your regular attendance and yeah, you know what's the next stage. We don't need to tell you, but we are always honored to have you. So, okay, I think Toastmaster Heba, we are done with the guests.
guest.
Yeah.
Okay,
now
so
yeah.
as I mentioned earlier, he's a very eloquent speaker with his vivid imagination and his creativity reflecting in the speeches he speaks. And he's none other than TM Elvin Faraz.
Can we start?
Yeah. So just go by the agenda, introduce the room.
All right. Thank you.
After 3 speeches, we have to.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for this wonderful honor. It is a great opportunity to be here and finally see you all in one piece, one place. I am going to be the Toastmaster of the day today, and we have a houseful jam-packed performance for you guys today. This has never happened, so it is going to be an unprecedented event in the history of Karachi Toastmasters. We are going to have 12 speakers at the same time. So huge round of applause for those speakers, please. And let me officially start it. All the people who are here, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are going to witness and most anticipated event in the history of Karachi Toastmasters Club. 12 speakers, not one, not two. 12 speakers are going to go head to head for the title of Best Speaker. And because we have 12 speakers, we are not going to arrange a table topics session, but we are going to have something special in place for you. And Toastmasters DTM Talha is going to definitely help you with that. So let me officially start that. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let me once again ask you, for all the people who are present here and millions who are going to watch later, Are you ready? Well, let's officially start it. Let's get ready to rumble. And now we are going to have those speakers one by one. Now, let me just introduce you to the sessions. We have the prepared speeches session. We are going to have evaluations directly after that. Yeah. But after every 3 sessions, every 3 prepared speeches, we are going to have something which is a surprise for you, and DTM Talha is going to be in charge of that. So before we go ahead, I need a team. I cannot do this all alone. So let me just introduce you to the grammarian and the word master for the day. His name is Mohammad Asghar. So please put your hands together. Give him a physical as well as the digital round of applause. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Today, I'm supposed to be the word master of the day. And today's word is mercurial. Mercurial has more than one meaning. The most one of the top meaning is something subjected to sudden or unpredictable change of mood or mind. Fickle-minded or mercurial temperament almost used in the same way, but the mercurial is also related to the mercury, something with the weather. And when we said that the mercurial, it usually means that the change of weather. It is also a name of a company. It is also a name of the drug, but I strongly suggest you to use it as first top meaning, something which is unpredictable or something related to the weather. As a grammarian role, my job is to listen all of you, all speakers, and then in the end of the meeting, I will noted some good points, especially English phrases, vocabulary or sentences. And then I will also try to note down some not good usage of the English language. In the end of the session, I will present my report to you. Over to you, Alvin.
Thank you so much for that. Great description of the role. Now, let's put your hands together for the R counter, who is going to be Mr. Muhammad Muzammil.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Today, I am the accountant, and my job is to notice the filler words and the filler sounds we use unintentionally in our speeches. For example, you know, so, but. At the end, I'll be reporting that how many filler sounds and filler words each speaker uses. So back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much for explaining your role in such detail. Now it is an important task to have all the voting done. So the next person that I'm going to invite is going to be honest, no, it's going to be Talha bin Hamid, and he is going to be the vote counter of the day. Yeah. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. As vote counter, it will be my job to ask for your votes at 3 different occasions in the meeting. The first will be for best prepared speaker. The second will be for best big role player, which is between Toastmaster of the day and the general evaluator. And the third will be for best role player, which is the roles are grammarian, R counter, timer, word master, as you will see. So in all those occasions, I will be floating a Google form for those of you who are physically here and are not part of the club's WhatsApp group. You will be asked to submit your votes physically via slips of paper. As the vote counter, I cannot cast my vote. I will only be able to cast my vote if there's a tie between 2 winners. And as a vote counter, let me also announce that today, since this is a speakerthon, we'll be announcing top 3 in both categories, speakers and evaluators. So there will be top 3 evaluators and top 3 speakers. So over to you, Toastmasters.
Now the next very important role goes to the tech host, who is going to be playing that. So that tech host is also going to be Talha bin Hamid.
You can skip over that.
All right. So the listener is going to play a very important role. He's going to listen to everything, and that person is none other than Mr. TM Mufaddal. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? And when I say huge, I mean huge.
Thank you very much for the very energetic Toastmaster of the day. To have you on the stage, it's really amazing. So I'll be the listener for today's evening. My role is to listen each and every speech very carefully. And at the end, I'll be taking a quiz from all of them. I'll be asking random questions from all the speeches and you guys have to answer. So that's my role. Over to you, Toastmaster.
So much. Now, a very important role once again, we are going to have the timer who will have with each and every single control of every single speech. He's going to come up here. Put your hands together for Mr. Wasit.
Good evening, everyone. Today, I'll be playing the role of the timer, and you guys have to respect me if you guys want to qualify. If you want to qualify for your speech. So I guess every speech is around 5 to 7 minutes, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Except
So-
for a few which are 4 to 6 minutes, and one is 7 to 8 minutes.
Okay, so for the 5 to 7 minutes, on 5 minutes, I'm going to show the green light. On the 6th, yellow, and on the 7th, I'll show the red light. After showing the red light, there will be a grace period of 30 seconds. So from 7 minutes, 30 seconds is the cutoff. If you cross that, I'll disqualify. Right? And for the 4 to 6 minutes, it's 4 minutes green light, 5 minutes it's yellow light, 6 minutes it's red light, and 6:30 is the cutoff. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Okay, after explaining the rules, I'm pretty sure I see a lot of serious faces now. To change that, I'm going to invite the joke master of the day, which is none other than Farhan Haider. Put your hands together.
Good evening, everybody. What an exciting start by TM and Praz. We all have charge. We are unable to sleep. So today I'm playing a role of joke master. So I have a responsibility to make you laugh. There is a conversation between owner and worker. Worker, sir, please increase my salary. Owner, no, it's impossible. I can't do. Worker, okay, sir, from tomorrow onwards, I will leave my office at 5:30 sharp. Owner, why? What is the reason? Worker, sir, this salary is not sufficient for me and I want to drive auto rickshaw in the night. I have to support my family. Owner, okay, go ahead. But if you feel hungry in the midnight, you can come to Bhadrabad roundabout. Worker, why, sir? Because owner said, because I sell biryani over there.
Now that we have officially started, let me welcome DTM Samir on the stage, who is going to.
Yeah, this is one of the hopefully not frequent reach. DTM Samir, oh my God, think of, okay, no, I won't say that. He is just joined.
He's here.
He is just logged in. So.
All right. So I'm going to invite now DTM Samir, who is the evaluator for Toastmaster Rabia Zishan. And DTM Samir is going to tell us about the details of all the projects, whatever TM Rabia is going to do. DTM Samir is going to introduce that. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. My apologies, I just got right in. My apologies for that. Today, Toastmaster Rabia will be doing her icebreaker. The purpose of the project is to introduce yourself to the club and learn about the basic structure of a public speech. The time is 4 to 6 minutes, and the title of the speech is How I Became Myself. How I Became Myself, Toastmaster Rabia Zishan.
Thank you so much, DTM Samir. I'm unable to pin the timer. Can somebody?
Timer, please raise your hand. I will spotlight you both.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So,
Where is the timer? I can't see the timer.
There he is. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now I can see.
Now you can. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Let me just. So sorry, so sorry.
You are already on the yellow light. Watch your background.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yes.
You can see me. I'm starting now for the timer. My dear KTC family and the huge number of guests that are joining us today, I need to introduce myself again to the same group of people. When I initially gave my icebreaker, I thought this is easy. I love to talk, and especially about myself and my midlife crisis passion, which, by the way, I vowed not to mention today in my introduction. But to introduce myself again and again and bring a new aspect every time is becoming a hard thing to do. And therefore, I decided to go to the basics and describe how I became myself. My name is Rabia Tabassum Zishan. I'm proud to introduce myself as a mother, a homemaker, and a social worker. Today, I would like to mention the factors which made me who I am. The first factor, my father. My father is Sayyid Misbah Ahmad Zadi, the most witty, kind, but a strong personality, the most hospitable person, and a hard-working man I know. But there was one thing that he detested, and it was studying. His family had to forcibly made him complete his inter examinations. And he often tells us how he got 100 marks in maths and 0 in English. Even though he wasn't educated, but he was a born leader, fearless and always taking risks and new steps. He was superb in managing things and getting things done. And he confidently handled every new project and every new step. My father's family lived with their uncle's family when they migrated from India to Pakistan, and they lived in very, very minimal means. And he had to start working at a very early stage. He started with becoming an assistant to the photographer. Then he made a very hugely flop movie with his friends as well, a very low budget flop movie. And he then went to Karachi. Over here, he did many odd jobs and then opened a juice shop where he was the waiter and he was the dishwasher and he was the person who was in charge of all the things. But he succeeded and started his construction business with his friend. And until 23 years ago, before he got his stroke, he had built many multi-story buildings as well. It was his hard work and his dedication and his passion which made him achieve so much success in his life. And I believe that I have that leadership quality and that confidence from him. He was also a very generous person and very kind, and he helped people even financially. And that I came to know when he was on ventilator. And there were so many families who used to come and pray for him and give sadaqah, charity in his name. And I really, really believe that it's because of all the prayers that he is still with us, despite his many, many life-threatening diseases he has. The second factor which made me who I am was my mother, a very well-composed lady. She is a person who loved nothing more than studying. She is a master's in biochemistry, and she loves to read literature in both English and Urdu, and was a bookworm until the light left her eyesight. Just imagine the combination I grew up in. A person who used to read herself to sleep while reading Agatha Christie novels, and a person who used to watch Umar Sharif stage shows on the VCR. My mother is the most kind person that I know, and she made me help others. When my father became a successful businessman, she made sure that we visited all our relatives who weren't as financially sound as we were. She made us do all the chores at home. We used to wash dishes. I used to wash the toilets, the brooming, the mopping, everything. She never let the financial status of our father make us arrogant or proud, you can say. It was only after my wedding that I realized that, oh God, my father is a big hotshot, because my husband told me and my in-laws made me realize it. And I said, yaar, pehle batana tha na. You should have told me before. It's too late now. So Ammi made us very humble and kind. And the thing which I'm most grateful for to her is that she made us empathetic and never sympathetic. I took the best from my parents. I believe I'm a manager, I'm a risk taker, I'm confident, and a little bit witty like my father, and I'm empathetic, educated, and kind like my mother. And both of them gave me the leadership qualities I have because both were leaders in their own way. The third factor is my husband, who never held me back, but actually gave me wings. Whenever I doubted myself, he was the one who made me realize that I'm capable of doing so much more and that I don't use my abilities to my maximum potential. It is because of him that I'm able to do so much more. And he still expects that I'm not using all my abilities even now. Although now I think I have achieved a lot, but still he keeps on giving me courage and keeps on pushing me. These are the three factors which made me who I am. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
You are mute. Toastmaster of the day, you are mute.
Yes. Apologies. Okay.
Okay. The word of the day is mercurial. Try to remember that. Try to use it in your speeches. Now, without any further ado, let me just call upon stage TM Muhammad Muzammil, who is going to tell us the details of TM Shamsuddin. So over to you, sir.
So actually, he's not joined yet. So you can move to the next one. Yeah.
Okay, then in that case, let's put your hands together. Give a huge round of applause for TM Wase Ahmed, who is going to introduce TM Imran Chaudhary.
I can time for Imran. No worries.
Okay. Everybody, it's homecoming for Toastmaster Imran Chaudhary. He's going to deliver his level 3 project. No child should be left behind. No child should be left behind. Toastmaster Imran Chaudhary.
Okay. This is Mufaddal's.
Done, folks. Apologies. Just it'll take a couple of minutes. I have a presentation made for you guys. Sorry, technical difficulties. No, it's not. Yeah, definitely. I should have. I thought this was prepared it first, but you can make it a part of the speech.
But then your timer is
And
started.
evaluate me.
Then your timing will start too. So
Give me a little
be
grace.
careful what you wish for. Okay. Now it's
Thank you so much.
Is it being shared? I don't think so. I can, it's right there, but it's not on Zoom. Like, let's put on the slideshow, but then put it on Zoom. Yes, now it's good. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Thank you so much for being here and being on the side of love and compassion. How many of you guys know about the Citizen Foundation? Amazing, amazing. So thank you once again for making my job a lot easier. So before I begin and start telling you guys about what we do, I will just highlight some of the points that the education crisis of our country is going through. Often I state that Australia is a country which has the highest, one of the highest potential of the GDP in the world. I never asked if anyone of you know about Australia because everyone knows about Australia, and that's the reason why everyone knows about Australia. And the reason for its success is because of its population. You would be surprised to know that the richest country in the world, the population of that size is almost equivalent to the number of children who are out of school in Pakistan. And that number is staggering. That number is 22.8 million. 22.8 million is the 10% population of our country. Another very interesting fact is that every 10th child who is not going to school in the world is a Pakistani child. Another interesting fact is that there are 192 countries registered in UN. Pakistan comes at top second number when we talk about the largest number of children out of school. Nigeria, then Pakistan. I haven't named countries like Afghanistan here. I haven't named countries like Bangladesh, who was once part of a country. India is not here. Sri Lanka is not here. Pakistan is there. So if anyone says that Pakistan is going through an education crisis, it's not an exaggeration at all. So keeping all of these facts in mind, there were 6 friends in 1995 who decided that if they're not part of the solution, they are in fact part of the problem. Because it's very easy to discuss issues of the country sitting comfortably in the drawing room. It's very difficult actually to commit to a challenge and execute. So they sold off some of their properties, some of their investments, and built 5 schools in Karachi in the year 1995 and inducted 700 students. It gives me pride every time I mention it to someone that journey that started 27 years ago with only 5 schools. Now, to date, there are 1,833 school units in Pakistan who is, there are 1,833 school units in Pakistan at any given time. And the journey that started from 700 students only, now in this time, at any given time, there are 280,000 children who are receiving quality education through TCF. So there are 280,000 children who are receiving quality education in TCF. And I specifically mentioned quality. There's a reason why. TCF model is very simple. It's not rocket science. This is the kind of school that we built. It's a very purpose-built school. And as you can see, this is not a poor school for poor children. This is a beautiful school for beautiful children of Pakistan. The reason I said quality education is because we don't only want to impart education. Quality is at our forefront. we provide our children every modern amenity every amenity that you can expect from a modern school. We provide them vast play areas, spacious classrooms, science labs, computer labs. Every child, when he enters sixth grade, he is given a tablet, and swift language is being taught to them. But keep in mind that we are not doing them any favors. It's a basic human right. If I talk about myself, for example, I think I won a lottery that I won in a. I was born in a family who could afford my meals, who could afford my clothing, who could afford my education. I myself personally have nothing to do with this fact, and I was just born lucky. Likewise, we think that these children, it's their basic human right to get educated. It's not their, it's only their bad luck that they were born in a country or in a sector which couldn't afford to pay. Then this is why we do all that we do. All of these schools are built in the heart of the community. One research says that if a school is 500 meters away from a community, 15% of female enrollment drops. So likewise, if it's 1,000 meters away, the enrollment gets dropped by that exact same factor. So this is why we ensure that almost all of the schools are kept within walking distance. And you'll be very surprised to know that after the government, TCF is the largest employer of female in Pakistan, and that philosophy trickles down to the number of children as well. According to the last year's results, we have almost equal gender ratio. 47.5% of girls are there in our schools, which is a big achievement for a school like ours. So, after all said and done, basically what happens is, according to 2020, 97% of these children passed out graduated from our schools, and then those who came in merit were also given scholarship. 90% of those children attended college, then 73% of those went to universities, and each individual alumni on average goes through the same, contributes 54% of the amount of household income. So this is a very big achievement. Here I end my presentation with this final thought that this awareness sessions like these are very important because people generally don't know about children's education crisis and what we are doing about it. If you can, then connect us to as many organizations as you can. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for taking your time out and preparing such a wonderful speech on the topic of education. We are indeed going through mercurial times, and it is not just a word. Every child deserves education. It is the basic right. So without further ado, let us put our hands together for DDM Talab bin Hamid, who is going to come up here with his surprise. So over to you, DDM.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters today. I want two people on the stage. Two guests. Two guests. Two guests. Thanks for the correction. Two of the guests. Yeah, please come on. Don't raise hand. Raise yourself. Hey, who will dare to join in? Come on, one of the guests. Okay. Do you want to pick those Toastmasters? Why don't you do it? I can do it. Okay. So we are doing a little impromptu session in between speeches. All right. And since today's meeting is themed around mentors on the silver screens, mentors like Gandalf or Dumbledore. So you both will be asked to do a little role play, but both of you have to speak for just 1 to 2 minutes as per the table topics. right? So Mr. Timer, please alert. The total time will be 1 to 2 minutes, right? So you have to role play. You are Dumbledore and you are Harry Potter, right? And you've come to Dumbledore for advice about how to pass your exams because you're too busy doing other things.
Finding Horcrux.
Yeah. So you start by asking the question and he will mentor you. Yeah.
So it's going to be a complete speech from him, then from me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You,
Or is it a
Not a dialogue.
No, not a dialogue, but you present your case and then he will respond.
Okay.
Yeah. Or it can be a dialogue if you two mutually decide. The time remains. The time remains. Yeah. The time remains 1 to 2 minutes. Right.
Sir, I have a big problem. Tomorrow is my final exams and I haven't opened the book for that subject. What I was doing, I was playing around with my wand and trying things. So I don't know what to do right now.
Okay, first of all, what you need to do is you need not to get worried because this is something which takes place every other Pakistani. So not only Pakistani, I remember even President Bush, when he was once upon a time, he was invited as a chief guest at Howard Law School probably, and he, to all the A graders, he said, congratulations, you're going to be joining the Fortune 500 companies. And to all the C graders, he said, congratulations, you're going to become the president of the United States of America. So you have all the potential to become prime minister of Pakistan. You see? So don't worry. Yeah.
Sir, my energy level is increased, but sir, I don't know how many chapters and I don't know even the names of the chapters. How will I write in tomorrow exam?
Again, not a problem. You see, even the examiner who will be testing your, checking your copy, he will also be kind of same, You never know that he probably is acting as examiner, but he also cleared all the stages of life the same way you are running the kind of stage you are facing right now. So just be confident, use your intelligence, just as a typical Pakistani, be smart, on that particular moment, like the way we address the situation, same way address the question, just look at the question, just do not give no answer, give some answer.
Very creative person. The teacher will ask something that I don't know, and I will ask that thing that teacher don't know.
So we're done.
No, you still have time.
Yeah.
You don't-
Okay, sorry, what was the question?
The teacher will ask a question that I don't know, and I will write the answer that teacher don't know.
Let me tell you once again, as a teacher, he'll be asking something, he'll be asking the question, portraying that he's a teacher, but I'm telling you, he must also not be knowing the answer. So once you will come up with any of the answer making little sense, that will do. This is exactly, you don't want what those talk shows, the Pakistani typical politician who run the state, who run the government, what they do not have answer for the economy, they do not have answer for the political affairs, but they talk and they somehow manage to run the show and they are admired by people around, you see. So you never know, you'll be admired by the examiner as well.
So thank you for very wonderful advice. I'm good at making people confused, and I will.
What's your name?
Mujtaba.
Mujtaba, yeah.
Just join Toastmasters, will make you talk.
Okay, that was a wonderful, entertaining session. Now let's get back to the prepared speech session. Let me call upon TM Heba Rais. Yeah, Heba Rais?
No.
Okay. Let me call upon the stage TM
Faddal.
Mufaddal Murtaza, who is going to give us the introduction of TM Sayyid Wajahat. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Today, my target speaker is TM Sayyid Wajahat, and he is delivering his speech from Presentation Mastery, Level 3, Persuasive Speaking. The time for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. The title of the speech is I Am Not Social. I Am Not Social, TM Sayyid Wajahat. The stage is yours.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Yes.
Thank you very much. When I used to be a child, my parents told me strictly that never talk to strangers. Otherwise, they are going to kidnap you, and then they ask ransom money. And if due to we are poor, if we are not able to get the ransom money, they are going to cut you into the pieces and put in the dustbin. So most of the children forget about this instruction from the parents and they start making themselves social to other people in order to know about the society. But I am a very obedient son of my parent. I never forget about this instruction. And at the end of the day, till this age, I am not able to be social to many people. But within these 2 months, I came to know that being social is really astonishing and really, really attractive. Before 2 months ago, we are planning to take tour of 5 countries like Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, and Cambodia. So first of all, I asked my wife that, are you willing to join me? And we are going with like a couple. But she excused me because recently we had a newborn baby. So she gave me an excuse and I rapidly accept the excuse because the Thailand was in the trip. So that is why I accept the excuse that no problem, I will go only, no issue. First of all, my friend and me were planning to have a customized trip. But afterward, we came to know that we are the poor people. So we managed to take a group tour. And I was thinking that group tour means 5 to 6 people extra, 1 or 2 family, and they are going to just mingle together like, okay, thank you very much, like this. But when I joined the tour, I came because they were planning to meet up at Singapore. So when we meet up at Singapore, I came to know that there were a crowd of 40 people. The people with beard, the people with long hair, the people with many things. So we came to know this. 40 people around the crowd. Initially, that was a huge crowd. Initially, we were a bit reserved, but afterward, we came to know that we have to mingle with each other and slowly, we have to talk and being social in order to survive in the group, in order to be social. We have to take a step forward and start talking with each other. Slowly, we are say hi, hello. But we were alone, and after say hi, hello, we came to know that being social is so astonishing because there were 40 people with 40 mindset, with 40 mentality, with 40 confidence, skill set. They knows everything and we know nothing. One of a guy over there, Faisal, he know where are the clubs, bars, grill foods, the best restaurant in every country he knows about it. So he helped us a lot. And then if we go towards shopping, Arif was there. He knew how to negotiate with the people. He knew where are the biggest malls are located and how we can do shopping. What is the actual way to start the procedure to do shopping? How much we should take, how much we should not take, where to spend money, where not to spend money. He knew everything and we knew nothing. Then we met with Zaki. He knew how to arrange the forex because right now the situation of the country is not so good. So we were planning to save some forex from Singapore. So he knew how to arrange the forex. So we collect some bucks over there. Shafin, he knew about the landscape, he knew about the scenery, he knew about the roads, the traffic, how to do the taxi, how to go to airport, everything he knew. Every person we observed that every person has got different skills. And being social is very astonishing and very attractive because if these people were not there, our whole trip was sabotaged and we were not able to perform a single step ahead because we were not social. So being social is a great blessing And to know the people, we know the world. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Who is going to be talked about? Who's going to introduce TM Shahrukh Farooq? Over to you, ma'am.
Toastmaster Hiba. Yeah.
I don't have, oh, sorry.
Wait. Yeah.
Is
You-
the
you don't
speaker physically present?
Yes, he is physically present. He's doing his icebreaker.
Can you, actually, I haven't downloaded the evaluation form, I'm so sorry.
Okay, let me share it with you, but I think you can introduce the project and then use the form later, if that's okay. Meanwhile, let me share with you the form. Okay, I'm sending you via WhatsApp.
Okay, everyone, TM Shahrukh is doing leadership development, level 1, presentation 1, and it's an icebreaker. The title of his speech is Introduction of a Victim. The duration of the speech is 4 to 6 minutes. And the project objective is, there's only one project objective. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Over to you, TM Shahrukh.
Well, thank you so much, and a very good evening to all of you. And my name is Shahrukh Farooq, born in Old City area, and currently I am lived in Fidel for Gulshan Iqbal Block 2. Currently, I born in the Old City area, moved in 2001 in Philadelphia area, Block 17. From past 2 decades, we lived there. But currently, we live in Block 2, which is Gulshan Iqbal Block 2. And we live in Gulshan Iqbal Block 2 right now. And I have 2 sisters. One is elder than me, and the second one is younger than me. And as we all know, I just shifted in Gulshan Iqbal Block 2 in the gated community just because of the law and order situation in Karachi. As we all know that Karachi is the city of light as well as a city of knife. And I have Alhamdulillah a divine mercy, a daughter. Her name is Naba Shahrukh, and she is very cute, Alhamdulillah, and she loves me a lot. And I have 2 sisters, as I told you, both are married, and one is elder and one is younger than me. And as far as the childhood is concerned, so there is no childhood story, and I have there is a typical family issues which all we facing in childhood, and financial issues. Lot of financial issues in childhood we were facing, and at the age of 16, my father told me to join me in his business, but I was not prepared at that time, and I told him, no, I don't want to join you. But forcefully, he told me that no, you have to come with me. And as you know, the quotation that is the pressure builds diamond. At the age of 16, I started my career in Gulshan MMR. He is running a school which is located in Gulshan MMR and registered by the name of the Foundation Secondary School. As far as I also work with the Pakistan Stock Exchange from past 5 years. In Pakistan Stock Exchange, there is a saying that people will come in Pakistan Stock Exchange with money. Sorry, yeah, with money and no experiences. But when they exit, they have a lot of experience and money. As far as my education is concerned, there is a mystery as well as a maths. I failed continue till graduation from first year. But then I planned a strategy that slow and steady wins the race. And but in that race, I never slept at all. I just focus. I have a strategy to plan. In second year, I focused the fail paper which I have in first year to pass that papers in second examination. And still the crawling was going on till graduation. And but the fight wasn't over. The fight was just beginning. And I was thinking what to do further to in my education. And I have started MBA from IGRA University in the discipline of human resource management. And I did my MBA in 2016 completed. It took 5 years rather than 3.5 years, just because of I want to help out and I want to help out my father in business as well as to support my family. But I never give up and I did my MBA, and by the way, it was really a tough journey. However, a common mistake by thousands of people are doing that they design thousands of people is allow their main goals to set by someone else. For example, the working there, the parents or the friends, they are guiding them to set their goals in their life. But I urge you to all of you at least make a list of goals, not in your head, but black and white form, that there is a saying, a letter without an address will not reach anywhere. So be more specific in your life. Life has too much to offer you. We are the only barrier, no one else. But there is, and one thing I want to share. But there, someone wants to. But there is a still burning desire in my head to leave the legacy to the country, the city, or my nephews, my children. That, but everyone has a different definition of success. Someone wants to be rich in their life and overnight, and they all want in their life it's magic. But my definition of success is that when someone asks to my children that whom you want to be, they just said that like my father, and the first mentor I want to give them is me myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that brilliant speech. It is a tradition of Karachi Toastmaster that whenever we have an icebreaker from someone, we give up a standing ovation. So can you all stand? Shahrukh, I love the speech. I wish you could have just told us how do you do that in the movies, you know? That would have been great. That would have been great. So now let me call upon TM Latif Mansoor Ali. who
Actually,
is-
he will be joining in a few minutes. You can move to the next speaker and then come back.
Okay, all right.
Get
So,
used to it.
sure. So let us put our hands together for DTM Tala bin Hamid, who is going to introduce TM Aisha Khan. You are in for a treat, everyone.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. So today we have Toastmaster Aisha Khan. And despite what her name would suggest, she is not from here. She is joining us all the way from Vancouver, Canada. And her introduction is like a superhero. And she's a certified trainer and adult educator with a passion for developing others through coaching and training. In addition, she's a big advocate of women's empowerment and self-determination. She learned this from her mother, who modeled how women should lead their lives. Her volunteer work in a non-profit organization for women provides her a platform for advocacy and activism for refuge and other marginalized women. Aisha belongs to Enrich Speakers Club in Richmond, British Columbia. She joined in 2019 and currently completing 2 paths: dynamic leadership and effective coaching. Are you listening, Toastmaster Imran Rano? Today is a very special day for her, and let me tell you this. She asked me for this about a month ago. She is delivering a eulogy in her mother's honor. It's an elective level 3 project. The purpose of this project is to practice delivering social speeches. So as part of this project, you can either deliver a eulogy, a toast, or anything, any social speech, award acceptance, award giving. So Toastmaster Aisha has chosen, and you can do 2 small speeches in this space, but Toastmaster Aisha has chosen to do one 7 to 8 minute speech, and it will be a eulogy to her mother. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Aisha Khan. She was only 16. He was only 16, Toastmaster Aisha Khan. Toastmaster, sorry,
Yes.
can you see the timer? Just want to make sure.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. 1947 was the year when India and Pakistan became 2 separate nations. And we remember this event in history as the partition. At the time of partition, my mother was only 16 years old, living in Delhi. The bloodshed that followed, she lost her mother, assassinated by a group of attackers, leaving her with a grieving father, 4 younger siblings, and a traumatized elder sister who saw her mother being brutally stabbed with a dagger while she was offering her Fajr prayers and left bleeding to death. Their father could not bear losing his beloved wife in such a tragic manner, soon died after moving to Pakistan. You can imagine how distraught my mother must have been when she moved to Pakistan. She lost both her parents, her house, her belongings, possessions, and she realized that she had no one to take care of her and her siblings but herself. Mr. Chair and fellow Toastmasters, today I'll share with you my mother's life, how she lived her life with courage and dignity, despite going through many challenges and unfortunate events in her life. She was only 16 when she took upon herself the heavy responsibility of rebuilding a new life in Pakistan for herself and her siblings. She worked full-time to support her family and completed her studies at the same time. And she made sure that her siblings completed their education. But the thing I admire most about my mother, the things I admired most about my mother were one, she never allowed herself to become a victim of her life circumstances. And second, she stood up for her rights and never gave in to cultural and societal pressures. For instance, the right to get educated, the right to choose her life partner, the right to raise her children under her supervision. In those days, it was frowned upon when girls step out of their homes after dark. But my mother attended evening classes to complete her master's degree. She chose my father to be her husband at a time when girls had little or no saying who they can marry. Usually elders in the family did the matchmaking. After she got married, my father and mother were blissfully happy. But their happiness didn't last long. My father became ill and died of cancer. He was only 44 years old when he died. My father was from an Afghani family. After he passed away, my grandfather, while my mother was still in mourning, came to take us with him. According to their family tradition, looking after the deceased son family had now become his responsibility. As he was old and fragile, he decided that he is going to send my two brothers to one uncle, and me, my mother, and my sister, he decided to take with him. When my mother found out about these arrangements, she rushed out of the room and confronted my grandfather. She said, "You cannot take my children away. I will not let you do that." My grandfather was taken aback. He was not used to anyone challenging his authority, let alone his daughter-in-law. But considering my mother's state, she was mourning, he tried to explain the situation. "Now, don't be unreasonable, Roski Dulan. Who's going to take care of you and your children now that my son is gone?" My mother said, wiping her tears, "I will take care of them." "How?" grandfather said. "You live in a rented house. You have no savings, no work, no parents to go to, and no husband. Tell me, how are you going to raise your children?" My mother replied, "I've done it before. I'll do it again." Grandfather, in a more threatening tone now, "If you don't agree with my arrangements, don't expect any help from me in future. You are on your own now." And with that, he turned around and left and never came back to visit us. The company my father was working for, Karachi Gas Company, offered my mother a full-time job. We moved to a smaller apartment, but thanks to my mother, we stayed together. The year I got married, I'm the youngest in my family. The year I got married was the same year my mother retired from Karachi Gas Company. Now, you may be thinking that my mother was some overbearing, bold, and fiery-tempered kind of a person. Not at all. She was a slight-built, soft-spoken person who likes to keep her emotions in check, even in her weakest moments. I remember when my brother got injured in an accident and broke his spinal cord. When we were told by the surgeon that my brother will not be able to walk again, We all of us started crying, but not my Ammi. She didn't cry. She didn't allow herself to lose her composure at that time too. She likes expressing her built-up emotions through creativity, such as sewing, knitting, embroidery, and took great pride in making everything home, like butter, jams, jelly, even ketchup. Everything homemade. Every Eid she prepares a big feast and invite everyone, her siblings, nephews, and nieces. My cousins still talk about those Eid dinners. Fellow Toastmasters, 2 years ago, my mother passed away. Girls in my mother's days were taught that they were incapable of fending for themselves and therefore in need of a savior. So when she became orphan at the age of 16, she had two paths. Either she let others decide her fate or carved her own destiny. She chose the second path through her sheer determination, sense of responsibility, resourcefulness, and most of all, putting her faith on Almighty, she was able to carve a successful life not only for herself, but for her siblings and children. To conclude, my mother's life is an example for all those women who feel powerless due to their life situation. She exemplifies how Muslim women should exercise their rights given to them by their religion and don't let culture and society sway them from what is granted to them by their Creator. Mr. Chair. I should say Mr. Toastmaster.
Please repeat again. Sorry, it's my mistake.
It's okay.
Everyone.
Thank you so much, TM Aisha Khan, for sharing such wonderful memories of your mother. I'm pretty sure that everyone will agree that we are here, whatever we are, just because of our mothers. So round of applause once again for her mother. And now, I would like to invite TM Farhan Heather, who is going to evaluate TM Abase.
No, you can go back to Toastmaster Latif and his team.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you.
All right, sure.
Yeah.
So let us put our hands together for TM Latif Mansoor Ali, who is going to evaluate TM Alvin Faraz.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Alvin Faraz. Fortunately or unfortunately, whatever you want to take it, I'm your speech evaluator. So ladies and gentlemen.
Once again.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, today Toastmaster Alvin Faraz will be presenting his speech over Pathway Presentation Mastery Level 2 Project 1. It is all, okay, Introduction to Toastmaster Mentoring is Level 2 Project 3. It is all about Toastmaster, Introduction to Toastmaster Mentoring. The purpose statement of his project will be for the member to clearly define how Toastmaster envision mentoring. The purpose of his speech will be to share some aspects of previous experience as a protege. So over here, he will explain us what he has learned from Toastmasters and the fraternity and how he can admire his mentor. Toastmaster Alvin, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Toastmaster Alvin Faraz, yes, we can. Yes, we can, Toastmaster Alvin Faraz. Good luck.
So it was a fine day at Alhamd Academy. I had just started my chartered accountancy. I was hoping that my functional English teacher is going to be a gem. because I had had amazing experience with my previous teachers. English teachers were always very lovely, very calm, very kind. They had a je ne sais quoi that cannot be explained. So I, together with all other 50 plus students waiting for Sir Adil Iqbal in room 4 from Alhamd Academy, we were very anxious. We were hoping that this is going to be a miracle worker too. And we got a huge surprise. Boom! Somebody kicked the door very hard, and in came a towering man, huge. Have you seen Hagrid from Harry Potter?
Yes.
Yes. Just remove his beard, remove his hair, remove his fat, and we have Sir Adil Iqbal. I was hoping that he's going to be a lean, loving character, but to my surprise, he was not. And when I asked him a question, he was teaching us foreign phrases in the very first class. And I asked him, sir, what is the spelling of je ne sais quoi? And the answer that I got from him was, "ये बहुत मुश्किल चीज होती है." And after that, I have had a permanent mark on my mind, on my heart. To this very day, I just write the words. I never dare to ask any spelling from anyone. So I was hoping it's going to be better. It's going to be better. And then he started teaching. In one single day, ladies and gentlemen, tenses were finished. On the second class, in one single day again, within 2 to 3 hours, the foreign phrases were gone. And I was thinking, what the heck is happening to us? But I did not lose my hope. The minute he said CA is a very, very difficult thing, and hardly people do that, I promised to myself, I'm not going to be a teacher like that. I'm going to build my self-esteem as well as my students' self-esteem. I promised to myself that I'm going to replace this man and I'm going to teach functional English, PPE, or whatever is thrown my way. I'm going to be a better teacher. So with my heart broken, one more time, we were waiting for the next class, gathered courage, sitting. And this time it was the class of maths. Now, past experience tells me that maths teachers are very strict. You usually bond with them. And, for me, languages come naturally to me. Maths doesn't. So when he came, we had a bigger surprise. He had a nickname for all the students. He used to call us Holu. And I still remember, he used to say, Holu, you don't have to think. What I say, do it in your exam and everything will be fine. We obliged, nothing else to do. But that promise that stayed in my head. And I became a teacher in chartered accountancy. I started teaching at ARTD Business School. I took over Sir Adil Iqbal's role. I have won various merit certificates with the help of my students' dedications. And in my teaching, I have never called my students by their first name. I always call them sir and madam. I show them courtesy. I show them the respect that they deserve. And recently, Vazna, one of my students, she said, sir, you have to be in a museum somewhere. We don't deserve you. Your patience is amazing. The students, I was teaching them present perfect. And I took the whole class for just teaching present perfect. So I was teaching them, they were making mistakes again and again and again. And I was very patient with them. And at that point in time, she gave me a feedback. I thought that my hard work is fulfilled. My feedback was positive. I love my students and they love me. Luckily, I had a box of biscuits with me. They're a special brand. They're called Khalifa and they're situated in Lahore. Who knows about that? Raise your hands, please. So I had brought them for a specific purpose. One day ago, in my class, there were some troublemakers. They were not listening to me. So I shouted at them really hard. But I had to make up for it. So I brought that big box of biscuits for my students so that they can be happy. They can forgive me. This was like a peace offering. And I was looking, where can I find these like-minded people? And to my surprise, I stumbled upon Toastmasters Karachi. I stumbled upon this wonderful club where I met the likes of TM Imran Rana and TTM Talab bin Hamid. One very good thing about TM Imran Rana, he never says no about anything. I have thrown craziest of ideas his way, and he's always like, yeah, sounds like a plan. Good job, you can do it. One example, let me share that. Recently at 12:30 a.m., in fact, it was later than that, he was having his cup of tea. One of his children was jumping on his shoulders, but he was focused on me. He was telling me how to change backgrounds because I had to play the role of a timer. So he did that. He never stepped back. DTM Talha, on the other hand, he gives me all the appreciation. He never said no again. I wanted to be the Toastmaster of the day. Yes, you can. I wanted to be the grammarian. Yes, you can. I threw je ne sais quoi as the first word of the day, which was a pain in the whole body, if you know what I mean. So, with this supportive attitude, with the standing ovations that we get from our TTMs and TMs and the senior members, we can achieve anything. Together, we can. Together, ladies and gentlemen, we can step on this chair and reach the new heights. Because together, yes, we can. Say it with me. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And over to you. Toastmaster of the day. Well, Alvin, you did a brilliant job. Oh, thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much for your kind words. Well, keep up the good work and you're going to go places, man. Good luck. Over to you, sir. Let me just put it back and get back on my duties. The next speaker, I would like to invite on stage TM Farhan, who is going to introduce TM Base Ahmad. Put your hands together.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Today I'm going to evaluate the speech of TM Base. This pathway is Dynamic Leadership Level 2. And speech title is Perceiving Birds. Purpose statement, which is very difficult to read out, but I try. The purpose of the project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his primary style. Number two, the purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his style on others. The speech line is 5 to 7 minutes. So please come forward, TM Base.
Every day, we meet a number of people. Every person has his or her own personality. Though we might interact in the same language, but how we perceive words, it differs. People can be direct, they could be initiating, they could be supportive, or they could be analytic. Though it's a sweeping generalization, but to a certain extent it's true. Back in my A-levels, my teacher gave a personal book to my classmate. And she lost that book. Unfortunately for her, I found that book. And I didn't tell her that I found that book. I told my teacher that I have the book. So 4 days later, when I went for the class and she was along with me, my teacher came outside and said, Base, have you told her that you have the book? I said, no. She said, Base, you are shrewd. I said, thank you. Good. We both went inside and my classmate started confessing that she lost that book and she broke into tears. Until that moment, I never realized what was going inside her mind. I never felt her. what I did was not nice. And then my training started, my emotional training started. I was made to apologize to her, and it cost me some eclairs. I was made to sympathize with the lab attendant whose husband just died. And trust me, I had nothing to do with the lab throughout my school life. I was made to carry the bags full of lunch boxes of a woman who came to sell those lunch boxes in the school canteen. My teacher's initiating style understood my emotions. She knew what I needed. She turned me into a sensitive person. She made me realize that it's too easy to shut down to emotions, while what's difficult is to face those emotions, to manage those emotions. Another time, I opened myself to an analytic communicator. I said to her, I said to him that it's not working out, it's complicated. I don't think it's going anywhere. I cannot understand the other party's needs. And to my surprise, he felt excited. And somehow he sorted out for me. Sadly, I was talking about the financial reporting question. Surely you all have heard about that the devil lies in the details. The analytic communicator are the God's police. They hunt down these devils, give them numbers, give them complexities, give them to play chess. They love to dwell between possibilities and probabilities. Thirdly, we have supportive communicators. Trust me, if you have them, one or two of them in your life, you are a really lucky person. I have two of them in my life. One is Hamza, who calls me every other day to ask me, how did my day go? And the other is Yuri, who has stuck with me for the last 13 years. These are the people who are best listeners. They hide behind the curtain to always support you. They are the emotional stabilizers of life. Few months back, I was delegated a task to compile a file. And like always, I made mistakes, but this time it was something significant. So my job in charge scolded me mercilessly. I was not even able to lift my head upwards. But does that make her a bad person? No, it does not. We later went for a dinner, and she was kind enough to acknowledge that she was too rough. To add more, she is one of those persons who texts me up around 11 at night when we go to home late and ask me how did I reach home safely or not. Direct communicators are the people who are strong-willed, who are logical, and who are result-oriented people. When they don't get their results or their tasks done, they get annoyed or they get spoiled in their behavior. I am personally a direct communicator. I get annoyed when I don't get the results. But is this who I really want to be? Over the period of time, I asked this question to me, and the answer is no. I don't want to be exactly a direct communicator. If I supposed to put logic and rationality on my right hand, which represents direct communicators and analytic style, and on my left hand, emotions represented by supportive and initiating, then what I'll try is to try to balance them out. If I dismiss emotions from my life, I become a spiteful person, a person who hurts others, who does not feel others. And if I become someone who is overwhelmed by emotions, I end up getting hurt myself. So now, when I try to communicate with people, I give logic to the direct communicators. I give emotions to the initiating. I give assurances to the supportive ones. And with that analytic ones, I discuss the potentials. That's from my side. Thank you.
So that was indeed an amazing speech by TM Vase. Now, let me call upon stage once again DTM Talha, who has his surprise plan for you again.
Well, it's no longer a surprise now. So again, I need 2 people, preferably from the guests. It's a surprise. Yes, are you waiting for me to pull any one of you on the stage? Yeah. Okay, yeah, please come on. Yeah. Anyone, any guest, any guest. First come, first serve. All right, so both of you have seen the Batman movies? Okay, that's a surprise. Okay, Marvel?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You are not.
Okay. No worries, no worries. So yeah, our theme is about mentors in movies, but mentors exist outside of movies. So imagine that you are his teacher, similar to the situation that Alvin talked about. You are his teacher and you are a student. And today you have a very serious problem to discuss with the teacher. And the problem is that you like a girl, but she's indifferent. So you want tips on that, or how you should go about it, right? So you will give him advice, and that will be life advice. It doesn't have to be what he wants, right? It can be what you think is right? So your cumulative time is 1 to 2 minutes, and you can have a conversation, or you can speak first, or you can speak first. It's tidy. So start.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine.
Sir, I have a very serious problem to discuss with you. As I usually come to discuss, you are my like a good mentor. Always you guide me. Can I discuss? If you give me permission.
Of course.
So I like a girl who, above the our office building. Not above, in the second floor at our office. She's very beautiful, but I think that I'm not that. I cannot meet her requirements or what I say. I'm not sure. So would you please help me to that?
First of all, how come you know that you are unable to meet her requirement?
Because she's like very arrogant and she's not talking to anyone.
In fact, you are capable of doing anything and you can do anything, and you are such a generous and kind guy and intelligent also. You have education also, and of course you work in the same office. So why you feel that you are not kind of is,
but I'm worried that if he isn't married or not, so I give me tips that how can I ask her.
So there are many platforms.
As you guide me in many conferences.
So there are many platforms, not to go directly to her, but you can find many platforms or social media platforms where you can confess or start the ice-breaking conversation with her. But how can I? You have so much experience from school level and from intermediate, before intermediate, from secondary school. So you can, I think you can do better and you can find a way.
Okay, I will try.
Your name?
Mehdi.
Who's Mehdi? Who's Junaid?
Mehdi.
Okay. Thank you so much. And wow, that was amazing. It talked like you were on the stage for the first time. So basically, so over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
So that was a very nice conversation. And Mehdi, a word of advice. Yeah, advice. Married chicks, always a no. Always a no. Don't go after them. Okay. So now let us put our hands together for TM Mohammad Muzammil, who is going to be evaluating TM Fahim. Over to you, sir. It's the other way around. Sorry, TM Fahim is going to evaluate TM Mohammad Muzammil. So sorry.
Thank you, TM Modi, TM Alvin Pras. And good evening, everyone. Before I introduce my speaker, there's something I've been itching for since your speech, Alvin. Alvin. You mentioned in your speech that TM Imran Rana never says no for anything you ask him.
Okay.
But he also takes no. He also never takes no for anything. He mentions to you, you're gonna get this speech. You say no, sorry, I can't. That doesn't happen.
That
on the
I
podium.
observed that. I observed.
Exactly. Okay, so next our target speaker is TM Mohammad Muzammil. He's on the pathway persuasive influence. He's on level 2, and this is project 3. The purpose of the project is for TM Muzammil to clearly define how Toastmasters envision mentoring and share some aspects of a previous experience as a protege. The speech timer note is 5 to 7 minutes. The speech title is Release from the Cage. Release from the Cage, TM Mohammad Muzammil.
Few years back, like many of us, I found myself confined inside a cage. A cage that was formed by numerous challenges, competition, discouragement, and the negative people around my life. I used to call out, "Is there anyone? Please get me out of here." But there was no one to help me out. One day, my father asked me, "Son, are you okay?" I said, "Baba, thank God you are here. Baba, I'm stuck and lost in this cage. Please get me out of here." "Son, why are you stuck? What's wrong?" I said, "Baba, I'm confused. What path should I choose? I feel I am not strong enough and resilient enough to face the challenges and the competition out there. And Baba, I don't know how can I break and come out of this cage." Right after I said that, I was expecting a slap on my face. But no. Just like Toastmaster Imran, my father never says no. Yeah. My father said, "Son, you know what? You have so much potential inside you that no matter what happens and how difficult it gets, and no matter how bigger the challenges are, you can fight those challenges and undoubtedly come out as a conqueror. Son, no matter if others believe in you or not, I have always believed in you, and I always will." Boom. The cage vanished. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, all I needed were those words to revive me and to empower me. It were all those words which revived me and broke the cage for me. But right after I came out of that cage, I got to know that there are numerous people like me who are confined in that very same cage and are stuck and are lost and are waiting for their to-be mentors to come and to get them out of that cage. So, fellow Toastmasters, there are people who are waiting for your help. There are prodigies who are waiting and seeking guidance through your experience of the same cages that you came out long ago, but they are experiencing right now. That was one of the cages of my life. After that, few months back, not years back, I joined Toastmasters. And for the first time in my life, I was assigned a formal mentor, which is Toastmaster Imran Rana. And as the Toastmaster Ping Razak says, he never expects no. So this is the same experience which I have had throughout my journey in Toastmasters. So fellow Toastmasters, be someone's lives which guides them home and which guides them to their destination. Be someone's hope which allows them to keep going through all the challenges in their lives. And be someone's pillars which help them to stand firm and unswerving, because this is all what it takes to break the cage. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Since everyone is talking about Toastmaster Imran Rana, can we have 3 cheers for him? Hip hip! Hooray! Hooray. Hip hip! Hooray. Hip hip! Hooray. Right. Now, sir, put your hands together once again for the one and the only. TM Imran Rana is going to grace us. TM Mohammed Asghar. Over to you, sir. Pleasure.
Thank you so much, fellow masters and guests. Most of you just told the audience that I don't like to hear no, and I said no, never, right? But I always said no when I have to deliver speeches. Yeah, fellow Toastmasters and guests, today Toastmaster Asghar is going to deliver his project from Leadership Development Pathway. He is on level 2. The purpose statement of this project is for the member. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. He is doing actually evaluation and feedback speech 1. The time duration of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and the speech title is The Way of the Word. Toastmaster Asghar is one of the amazing Toastmaster, and he is famous for his crisp humor, and you will observe this humor this in his speech. I'm sure it's not intimidating. Toastmaster Asghar has taken up his speaking position. So Toastmaster Asghar,
The way of the world, Toastmasters, the virtual stage is all yours.
Madam President, dear Toastmasters and guests, I recently came across a list of things that someone who, like me, born in early 70s, would have not known in their youth. Things like contact lens, credit card were not there. Hardware were the nuts and bolts of my uncle's Super Yamaha motorcycle. Software, I think, wasn't a word, or at least I was not familiar about it. Smoking was fashionable. I saw the elder of my family, my mercurial teachers, and other paragon of virtue puffing their cigarettes or dangling them between their fingers all the time, especially in public places, even inside the aeroplane. The fossil fuel was not a dirty word. At home, I recalled how we had studied by using the oil lamps and candles in our rural village, how parents had advised us to complete homework, even that meant skipping our dinner. Mom would serve us food in the light of the candle, and we would tell her about the completion of our homework that otherwise would have remained unheard. Teachers encouraged me to read when they knew that how I had fallen in love with the few books available there at that time. It is hard to imagine today, but until I was 16 years old, my family had lived in a house without pipe water in washroom. Electric came my home when I was 8 years old, and that too for only 5 hours. Immediately after Maghrib till midnight at 12 a.m. Then we saw explosion of radical changes. I may be wrong in my assessment, but I think the culprit was science. To be more precise, technology. It has transformed our lives beyond our wildest imagination. It always does, and it always will. The internet was a great intervention. Nobody knew it would bring something like Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, and whatnot. I just stopped remembering the name of new beasts emerging almost every day. Now, as we speak, electricity and driverless car are one of the exciting new developments in the town. Now, they will not be only a new sort of cars. They will, like internet, bring other changes with them. A new thing called artificial intelligence came into discourse recently. Now, will it destroy the job or upgrade them? I think probably both. Yuval Noah Harari, an historian, says in the age of artificial intelligence, algorithm will decide and organize our lives. Our refrigerator, for example, will order our food on their own. Our wristwatches monitor our health and renew our prescription. Dear Toastmasters, some of us, however, I'm not addressing any of you, but some of us, however, refuse to grow and are stuck in the time warp. I personally encountered people who are allergic in new things. They were living in a sense of denial. Even mercurial people are stable and constant when it comes to their mindset. The consequences were obvious. The lack of continuous learning and growth created some sort of stagnation in their ideas and lives. They ceased to be creative and critical thinker, two vital skills for 21st century. They are on the roofs, to borrow a phrase from someone. So they rationalize their denial under the garb of religion, morality, culture, thus refusing to acknowledge the emerging dynamics of an exciting world. Some of us can't even summon the will to change the direction until we see the writing on the wall. But by then it's often too late. I am one of them. It took me 7 months to switch from the old manual of Toastmaster into the new manual. Do you know the reason? Because I was hesitant to learn the nitty-gritty of computer-based new manual called Pathway. I had been avoiding this until the consequences of my inaction attended a critical threshold and system warned me to throw me away if I failed to respond. DTM Tala finally came to my rescue, the only good thing he has ever done to me. Dear Toastmaster, the future changes I mentioned are possible in few decades, in 30 or 40 years. I am the Toastmaster. Asghar is around 50. Keeping the national average age in view, I may not be with you, but majority of you will be there to see these exciting moments. Here is my suggestion. Please remember, they will become exciting only if you, unlike Toastmaster Asghar, decide to evolve with them and create a mindset, a critical mindset, which is creative. Toastmaster of the day.
DTM Azhar, no, sorry, TM Azhar, it is, you will soon be a DTM. It is always a pleasure to hear from you. Such amazing speech it is. And now it is time for a wake-up call, everyone. This is a special chance for everyone else who are sitting in the back and checking on their phone. This is a special chance to make something big. Because DTM Talha has promised that if you win this contest, this little thing that we have, he's gonna give you a treat of some sort. Oh. Or maybe that was a dream. He's gonna issue a certificate. Okay. So the first question, guys, do we have any movie fans here? All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say some dialogues and I want you to tell me the name of the movie. All right, it's gonna be very famous. We are gonna go ahead with the theme of the today's meeting. So the first one, guys, it's fairly easy. May the force be with you.
Star Wars.
Star Wars it is. So just like that, you have to answer and your name will be written and something special will come your way. Okay. Yeah, kind of a lucky draw. All right. Next one, everyone. My precious.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Come on, guys, wake up. Do we have any movie fans?
Right.
Yes or no? No. All right, one more time. I'll try it again.
I think mostly are Bollywood movie fans.
Okay. Let me change my system towards that. So एक बार मैंने commitment कर दिया, फिर तो मैं अपने
Wanted.
Everyone is away. Okay. But for the last one, this this should be easy guess. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Finding Nemo. So one vote for TM Imran. Can we have one more?
Yeah.
Should we have one more?
Yes.
Okay. Hakuna Matata.
Lion King.
Lion King.
Can't answer. Let them answer as well.
Lion King.
Yeah. Okay. Because we are, together in this.
Okay.
Okay. So one more time. This one is very easy. I would like to have a martini, shaken but not stirred. Who said that? So may I have your name? Abdullah Yusuf. So can somebody put that down? One more. Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all? Not Cinderella.
Snow White.
Snow White it is. And now we're going to go back to the prepared speech section. Next speech that we have is going to be the TM Talha, and his evaluator is going to be TM Urusa Kamal. So put your hands together for TM.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. I will be evaluating DTM Talha, and he will be delivering a story today. The purpose statement of his project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes, and his project is his pathway is innovative planning, and this is his level 3. So over to you, and the title is the Cowardly Knight and the Ignoble Steed. Over to you, DTM Talha.
Thank you so much. I jumped and climbed top of the horse, sat on the saddle. I looked around, everything was peaceful. My other friends were sitting on their respective horses, looking at me. As soon as I got settled, the horse started trotting towards the edge of the precipice, because we were on the trek to Fairy Meadows. It was April 2014. We were surrounded by snow, and we had to make this trek either on feet or on horses. And there was just one tiny little problem. I had never ridden a horse before. And those of you who have been on a mountain trail, especially Fairy Meadows, which is like this 3-foot wide trail surrounded by mountains and 1,000-foot deep crevice. That's perhaps not the ideal place to learn horse riding. But as fate would have it, I was on the horse. The horse trotted and then shuddered like this and uttered a little. And I uttered, what? What the hell is going on? Is this horse crazy? Why do all the crazy ones come in my share? I looked around at this. Everyone was peaceful as if nothing had happened. The horse had a groom who was walking in front. And he just bowed his head and kept on walking. I steeled myself, inhaled, and then nudged myself a little bit and adjusted myself better on the horse. This time, the horse walked beyond the edge with 2 of its legs dangling and shuddered again and said, what I did was I jumped off and I said, I'm not riding on this stupid horse. This horse is sick. He's a schizophrenic. It's mad. And why aren't you guys doing anything? All my friends, experienced horse riders, they were snickering, looking at me. And I started to address them. All right. Okay, now I get it. I am the butt of jokes for you guys. Is that why you brought me along? And my friend said to me, Talha, we did not bring you along. You brought us along. And then it clicked. Yes, we were on this trek because of me. We were making our merry way from Chalas to Gilgit. And we had no plan to stray off course. But then I spotted a sign, the Killer Mountain. And I said to myself, this has to be it. I ordered the driver to stop and told my friends that, we get off here, make our way to Fairy Meadows and look at Nanga Parbat. What could be better? They were a little puzzled because this was nowhere part of the plan. We did not have the clothes, the shoes, nothing. And so my friend said that, are you in your senses? I told him, look, what are you going to tell your grandchildren? That we went to Gilgit? Everybody and their brother goes to Gilgit. What would you like to tell them? We made our way across world's most treacherous terrain, climbed all the way up to 4,000 meters above sea level, saw fairy meadows and witnessed the majesty of Nanga Parbat. And along with this, the glacier in all its glory. That is something worth telling grandchildren about. And my friend said to me, Talha, sadly, you will have no grandchildren. But somehow I convinced her. And here we were. And I said, okay, now I get it. This is your little petty plan to get back at me? You didn't want to come here? And now you want to get me killed? If something happens to me, I will not spare any of you. And my friend said, Talha, if something will happen to you, you won't be able to do anything to us. I redirected my rage towards the groom and I said, you stupid man, why are you not saying something? He looked back at me, bared all his 64 tobacco-stained teeth, and then went back about his business. I told him, okay, I'm having none of it. I'm walking, and that's final. I'm not riding this stupid beast. The groom said, sir, it's a 15-kilometer long trek. It will take you 6 hours. And I told him, let it take 60 hours. I'm not climbing on that horse. You're not getting me killed. Your little evil scheme will not work. And then my friend said to me, okay, fine, but soon after the sun will set, and there are wolves and scorpions and snakes, all sorts of beasts that you can imagine. Do you think we are stupid riding these horses? And then I walked to the groom. I held him by the scruff of the collar. I told him, tell me what's going on. Tell me, or I will throw you right off the ledge. He said, sir, please spare me. Let me tell you. All you need to do is adjust your backside a little bit and spread your legs. I said, what? He said, I mean, when you sit on the horse, you get back a little bit and spread your legs because your shoes are touching the horse's side and he is getting bothered. And that's why it's shuddering like this. I told them, all right, but you could have told this to me earlier. Why did you have to create this drama? And he said, you never asked. I thought you knew about horse riding. Ladies and gentlemen, then I climbed the horse and spread my legs a little bit, and everything went very well. But that day I learned, sometimes it's good to ask first. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you so much for that amazing speech. Now, let us put our hands together for TM Rabia Zishan, who is going to introduce TM Nurulan.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. So we have another icebreaker today. We started with the icebreaker and we are going to end with an icebreaker. Toastmaster Nurulan is embarking on her pathway presentation mastery. She'll be giving her level 1, project 1, which is the icebreaker. The icebreaker is a speech in which we get to know more about Toastmaster Nurulan. Timer, please note the timing is 4 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Nurulan.
4 to 6 minutes.
4 to 6.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Nurulan. About myself. About myself, Toastmaster Nurulan.
Fellow Toastmaster and guest, my name is Nurulan Qureshi. Very decent, simple, hard worker, and independent, and decision maker person. But these personalities traits were not in me. When I was a child, although I
I am elder sister in my family, but I was a shy, very shy, and afraid girl. Most of the time, I stay at home and never wanted to go outside. And I was a bullet not only in my schools and my related schools. I have two brothers and sisters. Both my brother doing a job and my sister teach Quran. My mother is a housewife and my father had a clothes business. I have more clothes of my mother. To my mother, it want to be a call a mama's girl. Who used to feel safe and under her feathers. My mother is my whole universe. She is my best friend, and she support me to every step in my life. And I have completed a matriculation from a progressive model school, and I have completed BCom from Karachi University. Being an adult child, I started my career professionally, become a helping hand to my father. I got my new first job as a exam coordinator in APTEC. By a beautiful world turned up and down. When my father died due to sudden heart attack. I were 4 years back, being an elder sister, I had to bear responsibilities and to earn bread and butter for my family. Luckily, I got a second job in a Dawn News as a assistant accounts. Assistant account with continue my studies. Recently I completed MBA from PF Gate in supply chain management. Now I am working as an AML analyst in Habib Qatar International since 2018. Most of you, of course, to know the AML. What is the analyst? Anti-money laundering analyst. To report the STR and CTR to the regulatory bodies and monitor the transactions on a daily basis, and a suspicious transaction look after, then approve and disapprove the transactions on a daily basis. And after stepping into the professional life, I am the changing person. I am self-confidence and stronger, and don't be afraid to anyone. My hobbies are playing game, reading interesting thing, and walk. But are surprised to know I found my patience in weightlifting. I go to gym regularly, do weightlifting. And why weightlifting? I want to make myself and physically, mentally strong. For the few past years, I am searching. I feel that my communications and my writing skills is not good. So I started a search on internet. So suddenly I found a Toastmaster club
Today I am standing in front of you. Break the ice with all your support. I will overcome my public speaking and writing skills, become a leader and public skills.
Yes, another icebreaker and another standing ovation. Stay on your toes, everyone, because the general evaluator is here. So put your hands together one more time for the general evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Elvin. Thank you, Toastmaster Elvin, for putting in a lot of energy in this meeting and the session of the speakerthon. So today we have witnessed some great icebreakers. We have witnessed what mentorship is all about. We have witnessed some different communication styles, some emotional, personal stories as well were there. What mother is all about. We learned that. We learned that Toastmaster Imran Rana does not want to listen. No.
Where is he, by the way?
And then we learned how to ride a horse. So amazing, amazing speeches. Total 11 of them were there. So hats off to all the speakers and hats off to the Toastmaster today for putting a lot of energy in this session. So now this session, the journal evaluation session, the evaluation session is very important in our Toastmaster meeting setup. Why it is there? So I was listening to many of the guests at the start of the meeting, and most of them came with an objective that they want to become a good public speaker. So the mainly, how would you be able to become a good public speaker? You can become a good public speaker by listening to your evaluation. This is very important. The feedback, the evaluation which you will be getting from your evaluators today, you need to listen very carefully. Okay. So how do we learn over here? We learn by making speeches. We learn by listening to the evaluations of our own, as well as the evaluation of others as well. So be very careful, very attentive in this session as to how this evaluation session goes. So in this,
sorry for the interruption. Actually, I wanted to request and remind all evaluators that when you're done evaluating, please send your score out of 10 to me about how closely the speaker adhered to the project objectives. That will be added to the Critics' Choice scores for the Critics' Choice result. Okay. So please send your scores to me as soon as possible out of 10. How closely your speaker, in your opinion, adhered to the project objectives. Over to you. And
thank you.
Yeah.
So this session will be divided into 3 parts. So the first part will be the evaluators will come. They will evaluate their speakers. The second part will be the reports by the role holders. So the role holders will come and they will give their reports.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Apologies once again.
All the speakers.
Voting
okay.
Needs to take place. So are all the speakers qualified?
Not exactly.
Yeah, just apologies for but this is KTC, you know, this
absolutely
is usual.
Okay. Toastmaster Imran.
Sorry?
Who was the second speaker? Toastmaster Imran?
No, second speaker is Toastmasters Imran was not a speaker. So Imran Chaudhary, yeah, Imran Chaudhary. Yeah.
So Toastmaster Imran Chaudhary, Toastmaster Shahrukh went up 10 seconds from their time.
Okay.
And Toastmaster Aisha went well beyond 9 minutes.
Well beyond 9 minutes, and her
time was 7 to 8 minutes.
8:30.
Yeah, 8:30 was the cutoff, and she went till 9:24.
9:24. All right. So, Madam President, what do you say?
Can you repeat the timings once more?
Yeah, one by one. Yeah.
So Toastmaster Imran Chaudhary, his time was 7 minutes 40 seconds.
Just tell us how much they exceeded by.
Yeah. Toastmaster Imran Chaudhary exceeded his time by 10 seconds. Toastmaster Shahrukh exceeded his time by 10 seconds. While Toastmaster Aisha exceeded her time by 54 seconds.
I think all should be disqualified.
All right. Okay. The verdict is in. So, okay. Thank you, Madam President. And finally, you can continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So meanwhile, the vote counter will be floating the polls over our different groups and also on the Zoom as well. So now what I was explaining is that there will be three different sections in this general evaluation section. First, the evaluators will come. They'll evaluate the speaker. Second section will be the reporter. All the road holders will come and they'll give their report. Third one, lastly, I'll be explaining and I'll be evaluating the meeting in general. So let's start with the first section. And the first evaluator was DTM Samir Ahmed Dhori, and the speaker was Toastmaster Rabia Zishan. So over to you, DTM Samir.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. TM Rabia, you started your speech off by talking about the dear KTC family and how you love to talk. But essentially, your speech was about your family. Perhaps you could have had another start, like Khalil Gibran said, that life without love is like a tree without blossoms of fruit. If that is true, then I, Rabia Zishan, am truly blessed as I have found unconditional love throughout my life from my family. I think that this would have been a more impactful start if you had started off by saying that. Then, of course, you went to the basics, and I love the way you said that you're a mother, homemaker, and social worker. I mean, that was very nice. The flow of words that really got to me. I really enjoyed that. You had very excellent eye contact, but for some reason, I found that you were looking a little bit on one side. I'm not sure it was your right or left, but that was there. I know it's very difficult to look into the camera, but I felt that eye contact was slightly, I mean, just a couple of times it was not there. Your hand gestures were fantastic, but you were sitting very close. So when you were moving, I could see the hand gestures, but they were quick. Perhaps next time you could have sit slightly back so we could see your hand gestures properly. And then you spoke about your father, about how he would be 100 in math but 0 in English. And you spoke about his difficult life, and yet, and interesting too, making a flop movie. Gosh, that's something. And he did odd jobs, and finally, he found his niche, his basic, strength in construction. And you spoke about your mother, about how she was so educated in biochemistry, a master's, but still she kept you down to earth by making you wash the dishes and not making you feel that you were something very special. Sorry. And then it was only after the wedding that you found that your father was a very wealthy man. That was so interesting. I really liked that. And then the third person you spoke about was your husband who never held you back. However, I would have liked to know a bit more about you. Like the three roles you defined: your mother, homemaker, social worker. I know you have given this speech before, this similar speech, and you might say that I am repeating myself, but maybe you could have spoken about the dynamics, how difficult it is to do all three things at one time, and how you are keeping a balance. But on the whole, lovely speech. I mean, I must say you had a very interesting family, and it's going to get better from now. There you go. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Deacon Samir. So the next evaluator will be Toastmaster Wase Ahmed, and he will evaluating the TCF guy, Toastmaster Imran Chaudhary. So over to you, Toastmaster Wase.
I can.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So why do we even bother to develop our craft if our craft doesn't inspire others? If it does not spread positivity in other people's life, why do we have to develop this? Toastmaster Imran Chaudhary did the same here. He came here to inspire us. The objective of his speech was to inspire, and he actually inspired all of us. The strong point of his speech was that he started by engaging all of us. He started with questions. Do we have those privileges? How do you feel? He compared us with the Australians. He told us about the facts and the figures, and he engaged us, all of us. Then another strong point was he gave us facts. He told us how grave the emergency is. He told us that around every 10th child, every 10th child is out of the school in our country. He told us how 5 schools developed into 1833 schools. He gives us specific figures. One thing I am going to tell about was this flow of his presentation, the content, how he developed it. He told us about the problem. He then told us the story that how actually people realize it and how they began their journey to sort it out. Then, to get all us inside, he told us the facility that TCF is given. And then he made us realize again that we all are privileged people, while many others cannot afford this luxury, what we had. One thing which I think that he should have done is that he should have added more energy to his speech. I found that his hands were in pocket while delivering it. So it kind of captivated him. It kind of, stuck. He was stuck. He was not exactly reaching all of us. So that's another thing. To conclude, I would say that he achieved his objective, which was to inspire all of us, which he did. The only thing that he needs to do is to keep coming here consistently. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Wase. So before we move on to the next evaluator, please vote for the best speaker. The polls have been quoted on the WhatsApp group as well as on the Zoom. So next evaluator, we have Toastmaster Mufaddal Murtaza, and he'll be evaluating Toastmaster Sayyid Wajar.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. My target speaker, TM Wajahat. I'm not social. I'm not social. What a wonderful speech. First of all, you came here, you were online, I'm sorry. And you started your speech with an event where you grabbed our attention by mentioning a childhood story where your parents had mentioned that never talk to strangers. And then I loved the way you connected this event with your problem and with this speech, with the title of this speech, that this statement was so much set into your subconscious that eventually turned you into an anti-social person. You didn't like to talk to new people. This was the first part. And then came the second part, where you added a humor into your speech. You mentioned about a trip. You asked your wife that if she wants to come with you, and she said no, and you were happy for that, as the Thailand was in the attorney. So that was again the second part where you again had our attention towards you. And then came the third part, where you actually told us how you overcome your problem through this journey, through this trip, in which you were an anti-social person, but you had to enjoy this journey by socializing. And I must say, you are a very good manager. As I felt that you were really good in picking up those people, and you know the skill set of individual people. You said somebody wanted to go for shopping, the best person who was for the shopping, you grabbed that. You wanted to visit new place, you knew who is the best person for that. So that was a skill set, and I must say that you are a really good manager as well. Some parts of improvement, which I would like to say, that your camera angle was at a lower side. You were looking like this. Though your body movement, your hand gestures were excellent, but since your camera was not placed appropriately, we were not able to see your movement here and there. If your camera would have been placed at the level of your face, then it would have created more impact to your speech. The second areas of improvement which I would like to highlight is that you had a single tone all over the speech. If you would have added some vocal variety, that would have added more impact to your speech. All in all, it was a very good speech. You had three parts, starting from your childhood, then discussing about your journey and how you overcome your socializing problem, your networking problem through the journey you had. I really liked it. Just some areas of improvement, vocal variety, angle area, and that's all from my side. Over to you, General.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mufaddal. So the next evaluator will be Toastmaster Hiba Rais, and she'll be evaluating another icebreaker, an icebreaker of Toastmaster Farooq. Over to you, Toastmaster Hiba Rais.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, sorry for the noise at the back. Okay, TM Shahrukh, you had an interesting title to your speech. During the time you spoke, you had good clarity, and I could understand what you were speaking. You also had good eye contact, and I constantly found you looking at the camera during the time you spoke. There was no looking here or there. And there was good audience awareness in your speech, because you related your speech to the struggles in your life, which we could all relate to, because we all do have struggles in one way or another, whether financial or any other sort. And there was good level of comfort, and I could detect no signs of hesitation or nervousness. You had constructed your speech well with good relevant examples, which made it interesting, as we could relate more to you and to your life. So there was good interest, and the audience were engaged in your speech. However, there were some areas of improvement which I found in your speech. Firstly, you could have improved upon your vocal variety, and by bringing more vocal variety in your speech, you could have, made it more interesting to the audience. And then I thought you lacked a bit of, hand and body gestures, which you could have incorporated in your speech. These hand and body gestures could have made you more expressive during the time you spoke. Overall, it was a pretty good speech, and with slight improvements, you can become a better speaker in the near future. Over to you, Toastmaster General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Angela. So the next speaker was the TMOD himself, Toastmaster Alvin Faraz, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali. Latif Mansoor Ali, stage is yours.
Toastmaster Lee is not online. Okay, let me call him. Meanwhile, you can call the
next one. Okay. So next speaker was Toastmaster Aisha, and she will be evaluated by DTM Talab bin Hamid. DTM Talab bin Hamid, stage is yours.
Thank you. Okay, taking the liberty, let me remind everyone, first of all, to vote and vote only once, number one. And number two, all the evaluators, not all have shared their scores out of 10 with me about how closely the evaluator adhered to the project objective. So please share with me while you listen to my evaluation. All right. Toastmaster Aisha, you started communicating even before you spoke a word because of your title. She was only 16. Only I knew that the speech was about your mother. But I bet that your title had got everyone intrigued. Everybody knew it was going to be a toast, but nobody really knew who it was for. You have a storybook tone, a natural storybook tone, which is very soothing to hear. And every word really resonates with the audience. So that is your strong asset. That can also be one of the improvement areas, but we'll come to that later. You had genuine passion and expression in your voice, and you conveyed some very gruesome details about the partition with appropriate understatement and yet heartfelt emotion, which is a very hard balance to achieve, and yet you did that. You were never melodramatic, but at the same time, you were never flat. You used some very good words. For example, you used distraught very well. I particularly absolutely loved it because usually we use words like very sad or extremely sad. But yeah, this is the way to go, distraught. And finally, some very inspiring words. Thanks to my mother, we stayed together. What a conclusion, what a summation of your stories. Now, for the improvement areas, first of all, a little bit of a lack of vocal variety, although I recognize that your speech required a somber tone, which was perfect. But there should have been a little more contrast between your grandfather and your mother, which seemed to be the defining point of the entire speech. Then you could have said some words and expressions a little more forcefully. For example, you said blissfully happy. You could have said blissfully happy. Or, okay, let me try to read the writing. You cannot take the children away. You could have said, you cannot take the children away. I know there's a fine line between role playing and actually conveying a character, and you were more towards conveying a character, which was perfectly respectful, understated, and in line with the tone of your speech, in line with the subject. But perhaps at occasions, it could have added a little more to your speech. And finally, one of my pet peeves, at the end of everything, you said to conclude. You didn't need to say that. Your transitions were already so flawless. You didn't need to tell us that you were moving towards conclusion. So overall, you paid a very moving tribute to your mother. I bet she's proud and smiling in heaven right now. It was thought-provoking, it was informative, it was emotional, it was understated, it was dignified, everything that your mother was. Only a few improvement areas, a slight more vocal variety, not throughout maybe, but at places, and a slight more illustrative delivery of some key phrases that would have elevated your speech to further heights. But overall, project objectives gloriously achieved. Thank you so much. Over to you, General.
Thank you very much, Jitin Tala. Can we check if Toastmaster Lateef Mansoor Ali has joined?
Yes, let me check. No, he hasn't joined. Let me, yeah.
Okay, fine. So next I will call on the stage Toastmaster Farhan Haider. And Farhan will be evaluating Toastmaster Wase Ahmed. Toastmaster Farhan, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. It is really an honor for me to give feedback on TM Wase's speech. Wase, once you kicked off your speech, you suddenly grabbed the attention of the audience. Because that was really interesting stories you had. First, you shared about your childhood memories in your school, lost book. Then you came into another story with your friend Hamza, and we all were bound to listen your interesting incidents. And the best part of your speech that you were changing the incidents very carefully, and we were all engaged with you. Your voice quality is very good. Some tips I would like to give you, which you may implement in your upcoming speeches. Your voice quality is very good, but you could have used it in a different manners, means high pitch, low pitch. And most of the time, I felt that you were looking only straight. So you could have seen on both sides. So it would leave a different impact. Another thing is that you could have used this podium in a better way. You could have come here. You could have come here. But we all know that once we come here, sometimes we have some kind of shyness, some kind of nervousness. But once we keep coming up here, we try to overcome the fear of public speaking. Having said, you spoke very well, and you have a quality to become a very good speaker, inshallah. So congratulations on your speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Farhan. So may I please request the host again to check for the
Yes, he's there.
Lateef?
He's there.
He's there. Finally.
Where is Lateef?
Where is Lateef?
Here is Lateef.
Here is Lateef, right. So I'll be calling on stage Toastmaster Lateef Mansoor Ali, and he'll be evaluating Toastmaster Alvin Faraz. Toastmaster Lateef, stage is yours.
Yes, Toastmaster Lateef, your turn. Okay. He's waiting for someone or something to stop.
It's in the office.
Evaluation in a foreign language.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir, for inviting me, the General Evaluator, and sorry for the delay, Toastmaster Alvin Faraz. The best thing which I loved in your speech was your speech had everything, little bit of humor, plus the way you express. While starting your speech, you were sitting, and then boom, you introduced the teacher. Your speech was all about values versus culture, values about the rituals at the school, how you managed to change In fact, if you try to be someone and then you try to become something different than what you have seen, I can certainly say that you are a legend. Just because learning from someone who you don't even admire, or you learn from his mistakes, or not sure about what correctly students are taking, and giving someone and earning the respect from the students of your students, you are a legend, Toastmaster Alvin. Along with your expressive in the speech, I love the way you have crafted your speech, the way you explained us, the accent, the words you have used, each and every moment. It was all about what I can see. The audience was missing actually for me, but what I can see was the timer and few of the audience at the Zoom. Everybody was glued to your speech. Now, when I have asking you or demanding you, or I've seen so much of things so beautifully, I felt that there are few things which were missing, and that few which I would like you to have it for your future speeches, so that it makes something different for what we have seen today. Now, according to me, I find that one teacher was enough. If you add your maths teacher with you, or the language teacher, had it only one teacher and you would have changed it, would have made a different audience. Why? Because too many stories sometimes make things complicated. At one stage, I was just thinking, in one line, you also used Urdu, so I'm saying it. Bhai, ye kehna kya cha raha hai? So it's like we were just waiting, like, what you trying to explain us, what you were trying to make us understood. So somewhere I felt like you went distracted from the speech, and then you again brought us back. Lastly, but not the least, the pauses are very important. So if you throw a punchline, like where you said boom, if audience are also reacting or smiling, give them some chance to smile also. A little bit of pauses. Let me summarize. Shorten your story. You are an expressive speaker. Very good humor you have. Just if the audience are interacting, let them interact with you, and you have the blast of it. Thank you very much, and I enjoyed your speech and hope to hear more from you. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Latif. So once again, a reminder, please vote for the best speaker, those who have not voted. So polls have already been floated on the WhatsApp group as well as on the Zoom. So the next evaluator will be Toastmaster Fahim Razak, and he'll be evaluating Toastmaster Mohammed Muzammil. Over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, once again. So our speaker is a very young Mohammed Muzammil, so young, unknowingly so young that it makes me feel so old. Released from the cage, that was his title of the speech. You had a great start. I think that is your probably fifth or sixth speech. You were very comfortable on the stage. So much so comfortable that you had the purposeful pauses that I note myself and most of the speakers that speak forget to do. You started very well a few years back, which instantly got us connected to your story because it was about you. That few years back, you were so low, so depressed. And then just when we needed to energize, you had that vocal variety. Is anybody there to listen to you? And then you were once again kind of drawn to you. And then obviously your father stepped into your speech, but not with a low or depressive. You had this humor. So that kept us glued to your story. And the humor was, he's going to slap me. But obviously he didn't. He kind of started mentoring you, started teaching you, started drawing his own experience. And then you didn't stop there. You had the humor once more with TM Imran. that he never takes no for an answer, and then how he mentored you in the Toastmaster journey. So that's all very good, and I just have got a few points to give it to you in terms of how you can perhaps make it a little bit even more better. Vocal
Okay, Beach Luxury, we can't hear you. Let's do that, Toastmaster as well. Toastmaster Vasi, we can't hear you. People. Hello, anybody there? Can they hear us?
No, Toastmaster Vase is suffering our fate. He is not there.
He's there. He's at Beach Luxury.
Okay. So then, no, I think he's not there.
No,
I
he's
guess.
there.
We are back. Actually, the internet got disconnected. Apologies for that.
Okay.
But now we are back. So everyone, please vote if you haven't voted, and send me the scores also. Yeah.
Okay. So Toastmasters, moving on to the next speaker. The next speaker was Toastmaster Muhammad Azhar, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Imran Rana. Toastmaster Imran Rana, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmaster and guest, today Toastmaster Asghar delivered a wonderful speech, quite valuable and thought-provoking speech about the way of the summarize your speech in a one statement that the only change in life, the only constant in life is the change. So you very well knitted your story around those changes. What I like the way you divided your speech into three eras. The first one was 1970s, then the internet eras, and the artificial intelligence eras. You use some amazing words. I initially noted down some of them, but those were coming again and again, and I gave up and I stopped writing. Those were explosions of ridicules. The culprit was science, and the another one was stagnant in the idea. So they were quite amazing. I like the way you speak, the way you deliver the speech. It always glued to your speech. The way I really loved the way you were delivering each and every word. It is crystal clear, and the clarity is outstanding.
what I can suggest you that you may not some pauses because you when you speak you continuously speak. You need to bring some pauses in your speech so that it could create a good impact and everybody will understand easily your speech. If I talk about your body language, since the camera position was not correct, it was like downward, so you constantly looking downward. You need to raise the camera to your eye level so that you can have a proper eye contact. Because of that camera setting, you were moving backward and forward, and because of that you couldn't use the stage towards your right and towards your left. So you may adjust your camera position on that. Overall, I thoroughly loved your speech, the way you brought the crisp humors, especially the self-deprecating humor. This is the strongest point of your speeches. So, as I already mentioned, while I was introducing you, that since you are known to be the way you brought humor in the speeches, so that was amazing. All you need to work upon, give some pauses, and to try to have a correct camera position so that you can have proper stage usage. And sometimes while you were using your hands, you were looking downward. So with that, you can correct that body gestures as well. So congratulations on delivering such a wonderful speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Ghulam Khalid.
So quickly moving on to our second last speaker. Second last speaker was TTM Talabin Ahmed, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Urusa Kawal. Toastmaster Urusa, stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests. GTM Talha gave a speech, and his project was to tell us a story. So his speech was the entire story that he told us. It was a small anecdote. He had humor, he had a conflict with the horse and his friends, and an amicable outcome. What I loved about his speech was the opening. When he launched right into it, I thought he was going to tell us about a dream he had or something like that. But then it turned out that he was telling us about something else. So the best stories open up your imagination, and that is how you build curiosity. And that was the best thing that he did with the opening. The next thing I liked about his speech was the dialogue. He had voice inflections, he showed suspicion, he showed anger, he showed surprise, and he also showed how well balanced and normal his friends were. And he also gave a very good reflection of his own feelings when he showed suspicion and foul play. He changed his voice. So that was really, really well done in the dialogues. The third thing that I liked about his speech, and that was a group of things that I liked: the gestures, the sound effects of the horse, how he walked. Then the adjective that he used, 64 tobacco colored teeth. These were really well placed and very well, it added to the humor of the whole speech. What could have been improved in his speech, which was already very well packaged? I really love the dialogue that came, and it gave a very, very good imagery. But somewhere in the middle, it became a little bit vague when he was talking to his friends and he was giving us the story. Somewhere I felt that, I did not know whether it was a conversation between the friends, it was a story, or it was something coming from your own mind, something that you were thinking. So maybe the story could have been a little bit modified over there to give more definition, because your story was in first person. So that could have been a little bit more defined. Other than that, everything else was really, really well packaged. It had a very good opening, good body, and a good ending, which was very short. The call to action, no frills and no long details, which totally completed the whole story. So over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Urusa Kawal. So last speaker, she was And Toastmaster Nurulan shall be valued by Toastmaster Rabia Zishan. Over to Rabia Zishan.
Thank you so much. Am I audible? Because I'm using
Yes.
a different, okay, great. Toastmaster Nurulan, thank you so much for that wonderful icebreaker. You started off confidently and you explained us about yourself, your nature, your family, your job, your education in quite detail. You told us about your education and explained about your professional journey as well, where you studied, where you worked when you first started your job. You also shared a very vulnerable moment of your life where your father passed away. And instantly, you made a connection with all of us. Thank you so much for letting us in into very details of your life. You also try to bring in moments of smile and laughter throughout your speech, and you connected with the audience over there at Beach Luxury. I could see your eye contact. You were looking at the audience and looking for response as well, and that is a very good trait for a speaker. And you surprised us by sharing us about your passion and your hobby, weightlifting. No one would have guessed that, and it was a real surprise moment for all of us, I am sure. And one thing which I like best about you is that you did not shy away from sharing your weakness, which you term as your weakness or your vulnerability. For example, your public speaking skills, and that you want to grow in it. And because it is very hard to criticize ourselves, and you did it very beautifully and with full confidence. Just as humble suggestions, keep your hands free. I noticed you had a mobile in your hand. Be confident. Use your hand gestures. Do not worry about the audience or something. I think you must have noted points on the mobile. It's better to write it down on a paper or a notepad and keep it on the table in front of you. And if you feel like you can just go or have a look at it. We are all here to learn and to grow as a speaker and as a professional. I suggest you use the pathways which are giving the tutorials and go through them, because it really helps us to write a well-structured speech as well. All in all, it was a good icebreaker. We all know you a lot better because you shared in detail about your life, and you had amazing eye contact. You did not shy away from sharing with us your weaknesses and your vulnerability. And thank you for that you trusted us, that you could share it with us. Just use your hand gestures and be confident, and use the tutorials to prepare your speech as well. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ravi. So that concludes our evaluation session of our speakers. Toastmasters and guests, please vote. And the poll has been floated for the best evaluator.
Evaluator is qualified.
Toastmaster Imran exceeded his time by 11 seconds.
11 seconds. Okay. I think let's consider, because Toastmaster Hiba asked me to preside. So yeah, 11 seconds is okay.
Great. So that brings us to the second section of the general evaluation, that is the reports by the role holders. So I'll be calling role holders one by one. So the first role holder was Toastmaster Muhammad Azhar, and he'll first be presenting the report as a word master, and then he'll be presenting a report as a grammarian. So over to you, Toastmaster Azhar Ramzan.
Well, as a word master of the day, it is sorry to mention that nobody except Alvin used mercurial, and if someone used it, then I'm sorry, but I would like to appreciate, congratulate Alvin that he successfully used it appropriately. And that's it. Well, there were some of the very beautiful sentences, structures, vocabularies used, but I will try to select barely few of them, because it was not possible to repeat the sentences from the speeches of all speakers, but let me start from the only constant in life is change. Someone said, I think it was TM Imran. Project objective gloriously achieved. As fate would have it, little pity plans. Someone said, gated community, divinal mercy. I think Shahrukh used them. And traumatized, brutally staggered, tragic manner, distraught, courage and dignity, victim of our life's circumstances, carved our own destiny. Together we can. The devil lies in detail. Emotional stabilizer of life. Ice-breaking conversation. My father never says no. Be someone's hope, be someone's pillar. And these are some of the good usage of the language. And I don't know how to mention the not good usages, but yes, someone said before 2 months ago, I think it should have been 2 months ago, probably. And top second number could have been second number from the top. And rapidly accept the excuse would have been, or more appropriately, immediately accept the excuse. These are some of the words that I have noted and just shared with you. This is the end from my side. Over to you, Journal Evaluator.
Vote for best speaker, best evaluator.
Once again, reminder, Toastmasters and guests, please vote for the best speaker as well as the poll for the best evaluator has also been floated. So please vote for the best evaluator as well. So the next roll holder will be, the report will be presented by the art counter, Toastmaster Muzammil.
Thank you so much, Journal Evaluator. So let's see, but let me say that I am elated to report today because not so many speakers use the flavor words of the sound studio, except a few. So first of all, we have Toastmaster Alvin. Since you are the Toastmaster of the day, so you have quite a few, 8 R's, but you are absolutely fluent in your language. DDM Samir, you had 2 R's. Toastmaster Rabia, you had 4 R's. Toastmaster Imran Chaudhary, you had 4 R's. Toastmaster Urusa, 3 R's. Toastmaster Mufaddal, 1 R. Sayyid Wajad, no R's, no flowers. Toastmaster Hibba, you had 6 R's and you used and as a filler word for about 3 times. Toastmaster Shahrukh, you had 9 R's, but that's completely okay since you are a beginner. And Toastmaster Aisha Khan, you had none. DDM Dalha, you had none. Toastmaster Wase, I was very impressed as you also didn't have any filler word and filler sound.
Wow. He usually doesn't have.
Toastmaster Imran Nana, you had 6 R's. Toastmaster Asgar, you had 3. Toastmaster Noorulain, you had more than 10 R's, but since it was your icebreaker, so that's completely acceptable and that's completely fine. Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir, you had 3 R's. Toastmaster Farhan Haider, you had 1 R. There is almost none. And Toastmaster Latif, you had none. So this is it from my side.
That was an amazing and excellent report. So the last report holder to present for the day is the listener. So let's hear from Toastmaster Mufaddal Murtaza.
Thank you once again, General Evaluator. So it's the time for the quiz. I'll be stating some statements and you just need to tell me who said this. Your little evil skills will not work.
DTM Tala.
Yes, DTM Tala. Okay, what was the height of the track DTM Tala made Above the
4,000.
4,000 meters. Yeah. Okay, how many countries? How many countries are registered with United Nations? Which TM Imran Chaudhary?
194
plus. Good. Yeah, 192. 192 is the right answer. Okay, and who is the first on the list with least number of children going to school?
Nigeria.
Good. Yeah, good man. Okay. Slow and steady wins the race. Yes. Who made homemade ketchup?
The first
Toastmaster Aisha.
It was not Toastmaster Aisha.
Rabia's
It was
Mother.
mother of Toastmaster.
Mother.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
good one.
Okay. What was the nickname TM Alvin? TM Alvin was given by his.
What is that?
Okay, who were the supportive characters of TM Master? He had mentioned two names.
There was a,
Two friends of him.
yeah, two friends.
So the names.
Something sounded like money.
No.
One was Hamza.
Hamza was
Hamza.
Hamza is right. One to go.
Yuri.
Yuri.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, you can fight and come out as a conqueror. Who said this?
Elvin?
But who said it? Who said to TM?
His
His father. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. There are some people who are allergic to new things.
Toastmasters were.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
He being one of.
That's all from my side. Over to them.
Thank you, Toastmasters and guests. So it's time.
Best
for-
facilitator.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So before I move on to the last section, that is the evaluating the meeting in general, please vote for the best facilitator. So you have to vote for the best speaker. If you haven't voted for the best evaluator, I'm repeating again, please vote for the best facilitator as well. So the meeting started on time and we were totally on track until we got two more role plays which were not scheduled. But so we were, when the speaker-thon ended, the 11 speakers, we were 20 minutes behind the schedule.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. Those 10 minutes gap in between the two table topics, we all enjoyed it. So meeting in general, when I stepped in, I saw huge crowd sitting in this room.
Yeah.
And I counted, there were around 7 guests. And I was very surprised. There were 7 guests sitting in the room, apart from the Toastmasters as well. So there were many Toastmasters guests online as well. So we had a great meeting, a great meeting, which will be remembered for many meetings to come.
Yeah.
So overall, we had a great time. We had wonderful speeches. We had 4 icebreakers as well, which I think had been before or not. I'm not sure about it, but this is something really unprecedented. So overall, I would sum it up as a wonderful meeting. And let's see when we can have the next speaker-thon. So I'll hand over the charge to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster.
Everyone, please vote. It's a tricky situation.
For the big two.
Yeah. Just concluding. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was indeed an unprecedented event because never in the history of Toastmasters we have had 12 prepared speeches, right?
We had before.
We had.
We had 2 days of speaker-thon.
21 speeches.
Yeah.
At one point in time.
So let me just add to this information. I went to a couple of other Toastmasters clubs, and they think that achieving 3 prepared speeches or 4 prepared speeches is a big event. They think that they have done the impossible. Well, let them introduce to ourselves. Let them teach us how we can conduct 21, right?
Yeah.
21 speeches in a single day. So congratulations. It was an amazing job done. Hats off to everyone who participated, all the group, all the role players. They have done an amazing job. And with that, I would just like to say, best of luck for your future journeys. Best of luck for your learning endeavors. I wish you all the best in your journey to become a better speaker. Over to you, over to you, Madam President, so that we can have.
I am Madam President.
So over to you, the PM is going to announce the winners.
All right, so yeah, since I have to read off the results of the polls and everything, so apologies, I'm not standing up. I have to read them off the laptop. So vote for the best speaker. The top 3 winners of best speakers are, just give me a second. Yeah, so just give me a second. Yeah, 3rd place goes to Toastmaster Azhar. Congratulations. 2nd place goes to Toastmaster Rabia Zishan. And 1st place goes to Toastmaster Elvin. How many times did you vote? All right. Next, we have the best prepared speech evaluation, and it was a bloodbath in this.
Oh.
Yeah, because we have like, okay, I won't disclose what we had, but it was a tough situation. So our 3rd place goes to myself. 2nd place goes to Toastmaster Mufaddal. And 1st place fittingly goes to our evaluation champion, Toastmaster Rusa Kaur. Once again demonstrates that an evaluation barely making the minimum mark can win. So absolutely fantastic skill with that. I have yet to learn that. Next, we have best facilitator, and that goes by quite a margin to Toastmaster Mufaddal Murtada. And finally, best big 2 goes to Toastmaster Elvin Fahad. But the most important result remains, and that is the critics' choice. Critics' choice. So the top 3 looks like this. There were 3 disqualifications, 3 time disqualifications. And even if the president had allowed the time disqualifications for voting, we do not consider time disqualification for critics' choice. Because the object is contest preparedness, right? So the 3rd place goes to, just give me a second, wait a second. Yeah, 3rd place goes to Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. Congratulations. 2nd place goes to Toastmaster Rabia Zishan. These are the compiled results, and 1st place goes to myself. I did not. So with that, we bring the meeting to an end. Thank you so much for attending and being with us throughout this speakathon. It was as said by anyone else, a memorable experience. Incredibly, we'll have a meeting next week as well. So so that is the only business that you take care of. And once again, lastly, reminder about international speech contest. You need to prepare. The contest is on January 1, right here at Beat Luxury at 11 a.m. So with that, signing off. Thank you so much, everyone, and Allah.